Welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse, where myself, Hoppocalypse and DPayne.
Zdrave. That's the informal way to say hello in Bulgarian.
We talk about topics that you guys get to vote on Twitter for us every week. This week's episode is about robots. But before we jump in, we do have a couple of announcements.
The web page is fighting with me. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So first things first, we have a new listener, and the funny thing is, Hop said their name, and I'm probably gonna butcher it now. She'll let me know after I say it because I heard her say it, and I'm like, and I immediately forgot. Myanmar,
Myanmar.
mine, my. Say it again.
Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yeah. I know that countries had a couple different names through history, but that's what the analytics are telling us the name of the country is.
Well, we click on it, we can find the actual regional geographic thing, but we'll wait until there's more. But
Yes.
you in Meowtown, thank you. Well, we lost that listener now. Sorry, buddy, but thank you.
Thanks for listening while you did.
Thanks for listening. Oh, wow. We have more people in Germany. In North Rhine-Westphalia.
I now have the theme song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stuck in my head.
But like in German.
In
So
German.
It's just angry. Oh, yeah, we also have a listener in Missouri. I don't know if we said that last time, but guess what? You got two, if I did. Yeah. And
Welcome,
you know
everybody.
What? I'm gonna say we do have another announcement for something, but you know what? Let's do that fancy thing where we say, "Hey, guy, we're gonna save that for the end of the show," and you're gonna want to know because it's a biggin. It's like a whole 5 weeks of something crazy
Yes.
or normal, but more themed. And that's the only hint that you're getting. As I remember, I didn't write something in the loser pit.
But yes, so be sure to
There we
listen
go.
in to the end of the episode. You'll get that special announcement because it's going to follow through in the upcoming episodes.
Yes, cliffhangers. Dabs and chat.
Anything else we need to get out there for everybody, or are we good to go?
I want a dab emote, but that's more on just my own channel. So
Will it be like the penguin night in TFT?
maybe. The thing is, like, I don't know why. Like, I started. Like, look at this. We're already off topic. I love it.
We did say it's a pointless discourse, didn't
Yes, trademarked. But yeah, I noticed recently, like, I like taking the things that I'm a millennial, but the things that Gen Zers find, do, all that, I like saying it ironically, not so much to make fun of it, but just to be more like that cringe, like, grandpa person that's just like, that's not what it means, and it's just like, yeah, dabs in chat. I don't dab. So like that's why I want to get an email that just says dabs in chat, and so that way chat can just spam dabs.
Beautiful.
That's all I want. I want more lingo from the boomers, the Gen Xers. I don't really care about millennials. We have avocado toast, but I only have so many emote spots. It's just like, I want all of them, so that way I can just say something and people are like, yeah. So now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay. But yeah, so now is the point where we roll our D20s because we enjoy our tabletop games to see who gets to talk first. And if we talk about our our god tier and devil tier robots on our list first.
I want to play Devil May Cry now. I hate those games, but I never played them. But just thinking of Devil tier and God tier.
Wait, why do you hate them if you've never played them?
Well, I tried. No, I watched it, and the main character annoyed me. But now, as I'm older and I learned a little bit more about, no, they're supposed to be that dumb. I'm like, okay.
There's different main characters though, right? Like depending on which number in the series. Because I thought that some of them did change. Strider played them, but
in four, you have a different main character, and I think in DMC there's a different character.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't quote me. I haven't played them,
I'm
but
not a hack and slash person, so it's never been like
yeah,
something I look into.
I think I don't know. I think it's just other people that I know that my taste line up with normally what they say love those games. I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to give it a shot if it goes on sale.
I think the humor you'd enjoy because some of the things I've watched and some of the like the cheesy lines, I'm like, that's fun. But like they,
Just like that, just total placid. No ramen pizza, but
oh cursed. Someone put candy corn pizza in my Discord, also cursed.
yes. And guys, if you want to know what that is, go look at Hop's Discord. I don't think I have the ramen pizza in mind, but I'll post it in there eventually.
The that Twitter though, that TikTok video of the girl reacting to that. I showed it to Strider, and for a couple hours later, we were just sitting there. It's evolved. It's taken a turn for the worst. Bye.
I think I saw you post it, but like I wasn't able to actually listen to it, and then when I finally was able to, it was gone.
It's
So,
gone. I can share
well,
it with you again.
like no, like not that it was like totally deleted or anything. It was just like it wasn't on my timeline. Like it was a couple hours later. I'm like, I'm just gonna scroll for hours just to find this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, I understand. The
And I was like,
Twitter
I could
moves
have
so
just
fast.
yeah. I'm like, I probably could have just clicked on Hop's profile, but that's an extra click. While scrolling is just a wee.
But yep. So I rolled my d20. What'd you get?
I got lucky number 13.
Oh, that's on brand for what we've got to announce later. I have
Spoilers.
two, so you go first, and it's even. So we talk about the ones that we do like.
Okay. So, guys, this is probably the most slightly prepared that I am this time. Do we even say what we were talking about? I was too busy going off topic to realize if we ever mentioned what we were doing.
Yes, I said robots twice, I think.
Okay, well now you said it 3 times if that's right. So yeah, we guys we're talking about robots. Um, and I'll admit when I was going at my list, I tried to get I tried to get different media formats so that way it wasn't all like I'm like in the back of my head I'm like, man, I really wish we like kind of thought of should we put this in the like video game robots or like movie robots. So we have a shotgun approach. I don't know if depending on how this one goes, I wouldn't mind revisiting this one again because there's a lot of robots.
There are a lot of robots, and I think mine are a pretty decent variety. I don't think I have any from video games now that I look
I
at
have
it.
one. I have one from video games, and
No, a lot of mine are media.
video
Like,
games is media.
well, sorry, movies and TV shows. That's where a lot of mine are. But if, yeah, we could definitely break down robots into a lot of different things. And then there's also cyborgs, because that's prevalent. And then there's, yeah, there's a, oh, you know,
Were we not allowed to add cyborgs?
well, I guess cyborgs do count, but
Because we didn't. Okay, peek behind the curtain. We asked each other, do we need to clarify this at all? Like, I think we're both like, nah, I think we're good. Okay.
well, I
And
said
then,
that I was curious about a wider variety. But I think, do we already have enhancements, like Deus Ex enhancements as a topic on the
um,
spreadsheet?
I think so.
I feel like we do.
Oh, there's something keep. Oh yeah, I think we talked about that already. Sorry, no, there was something else that had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Oh, it's not on the list yet.
Oh, no, yeah, it is number 19.
19.
Oh, we just
Oh,
sold
we
out.
wrote augments. Okay.
Yes, because that was something. It was something else, and then we.
Oh yeah,
The
because we
one
were talking.
underneath-
That came up doing superpowers. How
Yes.
how old is that episode now?
I don't know, but it's our most listened to episode.
Hey. But yeah. No, I think cyborgs is fine. It's just I always need a definition. Is because like cyborg versus augment.
Yeah, like I looked at it this as with robot, it's mostly mechanical, and like cyborgs to a certain part. Like okay, I have a cyborg on my list, but when you look at him,
Pretty much.
spoiler, spoiler, it's a guy. You're like that's a robot,
Okay, that's fine.
but like it's not until you learn a little bit more about the lore. Now I think something where like Iron Man, that's not a robot.
No, that's a exoskeleton.
He a bug.
Well, that's a augment essentially, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Because he needs the mechanical parts to make him super.
Depends on what run you're reading.
Fair.
So, in the Ultimate Universe, he has like he pretty much like gets biochemically made to where his body is 90% brains and has super intelligence, but then
I'm
also
uncomfortable.
but hold on, he can also regrow limbs like a chameleon. So there's like a whole point where he makes his first prototype Iron Man suit at the age of 16. It blows off his arms and legs, and he's just sitting in his basement like working on another one, and just like his legs are just glops, just starting to grow.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's a reason why only Miles Morales came from the Ultimate Universe.
But then overall, but that's still like he needs the augments though to like
Yes, he
yeah,
needs the augments to be effective.
like it's like how different people are super geniuses that build things to make them superheroes.
Yeah, like Runaways.
But anyway, okay, yes, you're. So we have a wide variety of robots. Once we talk about all our robots, we can like consider what
Yeah, we'll see where we're at.
subcategories.
Yeah. And then you guys won't see that till next year. But okay, starting off, bada bing, bada boom. My runner-up is Wally.
He's also on my runner-up list, but like not like my. He's not my second place, but he's like my mentions.
Your runner-up to runner-up.
Yeah, I feel bad if I don't mention him because he's so adorable.
He's great. Like, okay, I just want to back out a little bit, dude. Wally is an amazing movie, and it's just like there's like cinematic guts in that movie because for at least for like the first maybe 30 to 40 minutes, there is no talking. And it's just like, but in that, you learn everything about Wally and you learn everything about Eva or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Eva.
Wally. And it's,
And
yeah,
can I just point out, is this a Disney movie with no singing in it? Because I don't remember any theme songs from it, but it's a fantastic movie. Disney stop.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it. Like I know there's songs in it, but it's not a musical.
Yeah, it's not. We made a movie around a song so we could sell.
However, I think this was maybe around the same time when Pixar was starting to be brought more into the Disney umbrella.
Okay.
And because if you look at it now, like Pixar got like all the things, and then there was management change in Disney. I can't remember who. And they're like, well, why are we giving all the good stories to Pixar? So they started giving like all these things to Disney, which is, I don't know, depending on people's view, why maybe some of the last few Pixar movies weren't the greatest, but there was management change to happen in there. But yeah, for people who don't know Wally, shame on you, and I won't take that back. Like, I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and it just says Wally is a 2008 American computer animated science fiction romance film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Productions. Okay, so it's a Pixar.
Okay.
Yeah, because Disney is the like
parent company.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver's in this. Wow,
I love Sigourney Weaver.
What did she do?
Oh, speaking, just to go off topic again, I finally watched Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, what you think?
I liked it. But yes, Wally, for me, he evokes a lot of like feel good emotions just with his little, I guess, eyebrows. Like for being a little robot that can only do so much and try so hard, you root for him for so much of the movie. And it's just so cute. You can't be mad at Wally. You just have to love Wally.
Yeah, I realized who Sigourney Weaver was. She's the voice of the computer.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, was it the director? let me scroll back up. The director would joke, and he's like, "You realize you get to be mother now."
Oh man.
Um. So yeah, it's one of those things. Like, it starts off, and you're like, "Oh man, Wally!" Like, this is like, you see his whole life, and it's just everything, and he's just like, I don't know. It's definitely like, I wonder, do we like Wally a lot because Wally is like essentially like an introvert, and then it's just like he meets somebody else. He's like, I don't know how to talk to you.
There's that, but I don't know. I
He
thought it
tries
was,
his best.
yeah, I just love how cute he is when he's like trying to make do with what's left of Earth. He's just
Mhm.
like, I have a function and I'm gonna keep trying. And you're
Yeah,
like,
but isn't
buddy.
it? Isn't it also when they leave? There's like bigger Wallies too.
I forget what happens exactly. Like, I remember watching Wally, but I only have really strong memories of like the very beginning and then the whole
Hmm.
like uh end of the spaceship scene where
Yeah.
everything like comes to a head.
Hmm.
I feel like I shouldn't spoil Wally for people, but at the same time, it's 2020. You said it came out in
Yeah.
2008.
2008. It's 12 years old. So I don't know. I still think one of my favorite lines in there is just like, and it might be a little bit on brand to me, is like when one of the people on the ship wants to plant something, they're like, "And we can make pizza trees." I'm like, that sounds pretty good there, buddy.
It's almost like looking at the movie, it's almost like a children's version of, do you remember Idiocracy, I think it was called?
I've seen it, and I want to. Well, I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it, and I want to.
Yeah, that one's
But I
like,
know about it. Yeah.
yeah, that one's like a very gross out version of like, if we don't take care of the planet and we let people get dumb and lazy, this is what happens. But then Wally is a very like,
Hmm.
it's like it is a kid friendly way of telling people like, take care of the planet, get
Yeah.
exercise, don't
Take
rely
care of
on
yourself.
technology.
Yeah.
You can't just leave
Um.
on a spaceship when things go bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you
So
can, but
So I guess for other people who maybe have not seen this film, Wally essentially is left on Earth after humanity leaves it, and he and I can't remember, but I think there's like other Wallies around, but you don't see them. You mainly focus on this one, and he just all he does is scoop up trash into his belly, compress it, and then shoot it out into cubes. And he's just a rusty old boy that's just doing his job and collects things. Like, he when he finds, like, he has like a little hut that he has like just things of the old world pretty much, and just all these different things. And like, he's like your handyman pretty much. Not like, he is the handyman, where it's just like you walk into their garage and they have like all these things to fix anything, and it's and he just makes things work and all this stuff. Um, and then once he goes to space onto the ship, I just remember the other little dude that's just like, mess, mess, and it's just like scrubbing the floor, and it's just every once in a while, just you see him running and just like freaking out, and then like Wally goes down the other way, and he just turns, he's like, um, but yeah, no, Wally, he's like, oh man, he's a great robot. I don't know why I keep saying robot, but that I'm not stopping now. Um,
robot.
yeah. Oh, I remembered why. It's because this isn't on my list, but near Automata, you play as 2B, and I accidentally said robot instead of robot because your main character is a robot, and I was like, robot, and that became a channel meme pretty much. So now all robots are robots.
Yeah,
So
like I don't know, like it's hard. Like it's weird because Wally himself doesn't have like so much lore that we need to talk about it a lot, but he's such a good character.
he's just great.
Yeah.
Is he in the Kingdom Hearts?
I did not play the newest one.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Okay.
Sorry guys for typing.
Yeah, while you look it up, then I'll just do a quick mention of my other runner up that didn't make it into my list. because I don't plan on talking about him a lot, so we'll
Oh, he
see.
is.
Okay, do they have a lot, or is it just like a little hint of Wally?
I clicked on something that brought me to a DeviantArt thing. I don't want a DeviantArt. Just oh, it's fan fiction. Never mind. He's not in it. He's safe.
From Kingdom Hearts? Because you just
Yeah.
said that was a fan fiction, and I don't want to know anything that happens
Oh,
to
I
Wally.
didn't click on the fan fiction.
Oh, okay.
Uh oh, wait a second. I think the I don't remember if the auto the computer thing is in. I'm just looking real quick. I don't see it. So yeah, it looks like Wally has escaped the grasps of Kingdom Hearts, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll just do. Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about for
No,
Wally?
Wally's great. Everyone should watch it, and you won't be disappointed. And if you are, well, get better taste.
Okay, so my runner-up, like I said, like I guess my runner-up. I had two under that list. One was Wally because I felt guilty not mentioning him. My other one is Bender from Futurama because
Oh, I forgot about him.
he's hilarious.
He's great.
He's just a character. Like he's very fun to watch, and he can bring so much life to certain episodes, and also ruin things.
Okay, real quick. What is the first like Bender moment that comes into your mind when you think of Bender?
So I have two that interchange about the most popular moments for me for Bender. One is when I think it was the moon, when he sleeps with the robot daughter
Oh
and the
yes.
farmer chases them away.
Yeah.
But he picks like the one that's like basically a ATM machine that has a deep
Yeah.
voice instead of like the two like very humanoid attractive looking ones. And the
Hmm.
other one that sticks to my mind is when they make beer for the first time, and he's
Oh yeah.
essentially pregnant with the beer because they say it has to like ferment for so long.
Hmm. Do we want to add Futurama episodes? We already have Always Sunny episodes.
We probably should.
We can talk about that later. So I have two as well. The one is when they kind of go to that planet where Leela finds another Cyclops and they're
Oh.
getting married, and he just starts stealing everything. And there's just a part where he puts a sword into his stomach, and he's just like, "Ow, ow, ow," because it's just stabbing him the whole time.
Hmm.
And then like he just like turns the corner and finds more gold and just throws up all these things and just starts stuffing all these other things in his stomach.
That's a good episode though. That
Yeah.
plot twist. That's a good
Hmm.
episode.
Um, the other thing that I think, oh, of course, as soon as I said that one, because, what was it? It's there. Dump. Now it's gone. That was the one I immediately thought of. Oh, okay, I remembered it now. Where Fry is trying to find an apartment, and he's going all over
Oh.
the place. And he's like, and Bender's like, you can ruin me and all this stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's terrible. And then at the end, he's like, something. Well, here, let me put this in the closet. And it's just this huge, like,
Actual
apartment
apartment.
space. And he's like, why would you want to live in here? This is the closet. And he's just like, this is amazing.
After sleeping for like weeks in like a
Yeah.
cramped spot. And then the other memory I have, now that you mention it, is the one where they get a nicer apartment and it seems perfect, but Bender's antenna is messing with the TV,
Oh
so they
yes.
can't watch what's their drama show? Calculon?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember. I remember that episode. They break his antenna, or no, he breaks it because he's like, it's coming in between us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, just Bender, he's just very much who he is. All the characters in that show are great though, but him specifically as a robot. But the devil robot is also a really
Oh
good
yeah,
character.
Hedonism robot.
Oh,
Hedonism
there's
bot.
hedonism, but then the other one that actually will like
Yeah.
sell
No,
buy your soul and
yeah. No, I remember that one too. They're both great. Um, it also just made me remember the first time you meet Bender, and it's the suicide booth, and he's like Fry thinks it's a phone call place, and he can't get it to work, and then Bender goes in, and he's just like, he does the whole quarter on the string trick. And he's like, "Ha, gotcha."
That is good. Did we talk about aliens in it before in a previous episode, or did we talk about alien movies?
We talked about alien movies.
Okay, I was gonna say because
I don't know. While you talk about yours, because I'm all done talking about Wally, I can look it up.
yeah, because I realized that wow, I can't remember his name now, but I do like the alien in Futurama. No glove,
Zoidberg?
no glove, no love. That dates Amy. Brannigan's right hand man.
Oh,
I'm blanking on his name, but he's also
that Brannigan. Zip. No, it's. I know who you're talking about, though.
he's a great character because he's just like he's so done with Zap Brannigan, but he's stuck. But okay. So yeah, so Bender. If you have not watched Futurama, good watch. I don't know who has it anymore because I know like it was on Netflix and then it was on Hulu, I think, and then it got back on one of them and moved to a different one.
You guys can find it.
Yeah, the season endings, there's multiples because they thought the show was ending and then they brought the show back. I believe both are good. Made me cry.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good stuff. Like, you look at that show and then it's like, it's, you don't expect it to be like, because it's like, it's the guys that made Simpsons, but then it's like, you don't expect it to like, not so much like, I guess, hit emotional beats, but it does.
They do a lot of good, I guess, character relationship building, I guess is how I would put it. You end up caring about the characters more than I think. I don't know if it's just because how old, or like how long The Simpsons have been running, where it's at this point you're kind of like, it doesn't connect the same way. I think Futurama, what, is it 3 or 4 seasons? It's rather short.
I thought they were up to like 8.
Is it up to 8?
Because like the movies are also considered a whole season.
Oh, okay. I thought the movies were just like movies, and then the show is like so many seasons.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay. But my actual number 2, now that
And we only did alien movies.
okay, I thought so. All right, so then my actual number 2, my actual runner-up favorite robot, even though I love Bender and Wally, is Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
He was on my runner-up.
Because he's such a sad robot. For anyone who isn't familiar with like who he is as a character or what Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is, one thing you'll learn about me is I really like reading satire. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is basically a really long-running satire. I think there were a total of 5-ish books. I read them all in one sitting and I blend them all together. But it's basically a satire about like the future and space and like essentially, let me see what year the book was come out. But if you're a fan of like Star Trek and Star Wars, you'll find some funny things happening in this.
Maybe we should just get the audiobooks and listen to them.
The audiobooks are pretty good. I had a collector's, or not a collector's, but like an omnibus for all of them. But I don't know if I still have it after moving a few times. Mm-hmm. The wiki I have up for Marvin, I don't think. Oh, let's see. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The original series was originally just a radio comedy broadcast on BBC Radio in 1978, and then started becoming like shows, novels, comic books over time. So, but basically Marvin is a paranoid android, and he is he's severely bored and severely depressed, and whenever anyone asks him to do anything, it's the end of the world. So, you know, it's kind of like doing the whole thing where it's like, we made an infinitely smart robot, he's an android, he can help you with anything and like help you with whatever, and he's just there, he's just like, I forget what his catchphrase is. He does have a particular catchphrase in the book. But he loathes doing anything.
I don't know why, but the first thing that popped in my head was like Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother.
I'm trying to like skim the wiki, but there's a lot of detail. But did you find out how long
10 seasons.
Oh, it's considered 10.
10 seasons, yeah.
I'm bad at keeping track of seasons. That's what happens when you binge a show and you can't tell when a season starts or ends.
Wait, Neil Gaiman wrote... Wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, okay. I was very confused because I'm scrolling through. I'm like, I don't know what's what. for these things because there's okay. I guess I could look this up, but if anyone in chat knows the actual names of the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy books, because I know there's the Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and then there's Primary Pass, and then Secondary Phase.
I don't remember the names of the individual books, but I do recommend at least reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, there's mostly harm. Okay, I think I found out which ones they actually are.
Okay.
So long, thanks for all the finish. You know what,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it starts out very great where, or I guess we have a theme of robots dealing with Earth ending, but the opening line is, you've probably heard the quote if you've seen any kind of memes about about satires or science fiction at all, but it's the dolphins saying so long and thanks for the fish.
Yeah, in the movie they make a song.
I have heard that, yeah. And then
thanks for all the fish.
there is, I think May 25th is Towel Day. And towels are very important because you bring those wherever you go in the universe and they solve all of your problems, according to Hitchhiker's Guide for the Galaxy. No, it's a very fun book. And just go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I'm gonna find them, and then eventually I will finish them all. Oh, they also used to be a radio series.
That's what it started out as, I believe. It said on the Wikipedia, if that's true, it's in the 70s, late 70s, it was a radio series and then evolved into... Because isn't War of the Worlds the same kind of thing, where it used to be a radio broadcast?
That's what scared the living daylights out of all those people because they thought it was real.
Well, I mean, when you have a newscaster...
Idiots. No.
But no, on the Wikipedia, it says, Marvin was constructed much against his own wishes, which I think is hilarious. In his own words, I didn't ask to be made. No one consulted me or considered my feelings in the matter. I don't think it even occurred to them that I might have feelings. After I was made, I was left in a dark room for 6 months, and me with this terrible pain and all the diodes down my left side. I called for succor my loneliness, but did anyone come? Did they hell? My first and only true friend was a small rat. One day it crawled into a cavity in my right ankle and died. I have a horrible feeling it's still there. Poor Marvin. But no, he's just like I don't know. He sounds miserable, but I think that's just part of the enjoyment of watching, or like enjoying the books and stuff. I have not watched the movie. I've heard mixed things about the actual movie.
As someone who hasn't read the books, I enjoyed it, but also I found out that Martin Freeman reads some of these books. I'm like, well, that's the one I'm downloading.
Yeah, there's another thing in here. It says there's a point in time where they're like, hey, Marvin, we got to get the ship going and we got to leave. And they try to, quote, engage Marvin's enthusiasm, to which he hasn't got one.
Okay, I figured it out now. What the essential, past, secondary, whatever, all those phases things. Those are the actual radio dramas.
Oh, that it was. Okay.
Yeah, and they put it out there.
That's cool. Also, it turns out that in the movie, the one that I said I hadn't watched, Alan Rickman voices Marvin the Paranoid Android. So I am curious. I might have to watch the movie just to experience it.
Alan Rickman. The name sounds super familiar, and I'm like totally
Snape
blanking.
from Harry Potter, and or he's in a lot of stuff.
I never watched that.
Where's his?
I never watched Harry Potter.
Filmography. There it is. Oh, he's Hans Gruber in Die Hard.
Oh.
Very young Alan Rickman. I still need to watch Die Hard. I have been yelled at about that.
Yeah.
He voices Sheriff of Nottingham in the animal version of Robin Hood. I believe. Or no, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. No, this is the one with Kevin Costner as Robin Hood. That's the one he's in. I always forget how many versions.
Guide to the Galaxy right now. 1 second. Apparently, Martin Freeman read all of them but the first book. I was like, why? Well, I have book 3, 4, and 5.
I feel like if you saw Alan Rickman, you'd recognize him.
Oh yeah, well I knew exactly who you were talking about when you mentioned him. It was just Like,
Yes. So this podcast is turning into DPayne and I realizing how much we like robots and forgot about other robots in media and making a checklist of things we need to rewatch and redo.
I have 4 out of the 5 books except for the first one because I want the one that Martin Freeman reads, but no, that one apparently doesn't exist.
But as a whole, I think if you enjoy comedy and you enjoy sci-fi at all, I think just even if you just want to like dip your toes into it, the first Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book isn't too long. It's not too hard to read. It's pretty fun, and I think it's a nice introduction to what satire can be. Because I know sometimes I've seen quotes from other satire authors that point out that it's not satire if you're talking about people below you, then it's just bullying. Satire has like a particular goal in the way it writes its comedy and exaggerates things.
Yeah, a lot of British like stuff is what the heck is going on here? Okay, I used all my credits. I had a big stack of credits in Audacity, not Audacity, in
Audible.
Audible, and I just used them all getting them. uh, yeah, but like honestly, like the way you're describing this, there's a lot of stuff that probably takes inspiration from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's oh, what's the podcast called? It's like there's a lot of audio drama podcasts that are very much this kind of thing. Like one of them is called Mars Corp, and it's very much like a BBC sitcom, but in audio form.
Okay.
But it's all like people are living on Mars, and it's just like everything is just I don't know. It's been a while. Like it's the podcast that got me into listening to podcasts, and it's very much like a radio drama, and I don't know, it's just hilarious. Like it's called Mars Corp. It's unfortunately I don't think they were ever able to make a third season or second season. I don't know, but like I hope someday they can come back and do things. But it's just a real fun listen. So yeah. Well, anything else we want to say about Marvin? I don't know a lot about him. So
I don't have a lot specifically to say. It just cracks me up to have the concept of, you're in the future, you've got robot companions. Like I believe it said his occupation he was built for was to be a servant, but then they made him like too smart so that he had feelings, and because he had feelings, it just deteriorates his purpose of being a robot because he's like, well, I'm sad because I know everything. If I know everything, everything's boring.
yeah. Oh man. Okay.
So yeah, who is your number one?
So my number one, I had to look at videos to find out how to pronounce his name. But are you familiar with it was a manga, and then it was actually like a really old anime, and then I believe in the early 2000s it was redone into movies called Appleseed.
I think I've seen the name around, but I've never like read or watched any of it.
All right, so I'm probably gonna butcher his name. It's Bicarios. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's no like phonetic way to actually say it on the wiki that I'm looking at. Um, is He's the cyborg. Uh, he was human. Him and pretty much like the other main character, which I believe they were in like a romantic relationship until they were part of this. They were pretty much part of the SWAT team in World War III, to where his whole body pretty much was like got destroyed, and the main character Newt thought he was dead. And in the movies, at least in the first movie, she finds out that like he's alive and like comes back. Like he didn't come back, but it's just like he was being rebuilt in this utopia world, where in this utopia it's like there's humans, which like any human, they get like, I'm trying to remember because it's been years since I watched the movies. They get like full rights and stuff. And Newt doesn't know about this because she is like on the front lines fighting like these fringe like like just gangs that are just going around, and like she still thinks the war is going on, and pretty much Swat, which is the name of the main people, like find out that she's still alive and just like destroying people over there. And so they send Bararios in there to be like, yo, you guys used to be like boyfriend girlfriend, can you like talk sense into her? But he's like a giant metal man now and like has no skin or like anything that makes him look human. And he's just like, uh hey Newt, what's up? And then she just starts shooting at him. And so to the point where it's like it takes like a whole like SWAT team to be like, yo, tranquilize her and bring her back into this utopia. um but it's really cool. Like I'm just looking at his background, where pretty much he was African, from the Mediterranean, and then when he was a kid, he was trained. He just as a terrorist by the KGB, and then got political asylum in the U.S. after like kind of getting caught killing one of their commanders. Um, and then was put on the most wanted list of assassins,
Whew.
on the international most wanted list. And then from there, I think, somehow becomes part of like ESWAT, which is like, I don't know what ESWAT actually stands for. If I scroll over, nope, it won't tell me. But it's they're pretty much like they're like your super soldiers pretty much. They're the elite of the elite, and they get called in for like world destroying like terrorist attacks.
Mm.
But like he was literally, when I found out this is what we were doing, he was the first person that came to mind because he's just super cool. Like he's um there is a thing like right now like on streamer Twitter where a lot of people are like going into VTuber and they're like, I want to shed my skin and become an anime girl. I'm quoting one Lily Pichu's Twitter post that I saw. And I'm like, you do you, but if I had to shed my skin, I want to be Biarios and be a giant metal man. So, um, yeah, it's cool because like even though like he's made for um pretty much like terrorist like um sorry, like pretty much stopping terrorist things, terrorist attacks and all that. Like he still has humanity, and actually in the later movies it gets to the point where like his like pretty much it says he's three-quarters machine, so the only thing that's left is like cardiovascular system and digestive system, and then his brain and stuff like that. um and so like he's still able to eat and drink, but like they're very clear he is not able to reproduce. His reproductive system is gone. And it's like, yeah, no one wanted that rule 34 coming out. um but yeah, so but like it goes to the point where his human parts are starting to outlast his robot parts because they can't upgrade the robot parts anymore. And so they constantly have to go into like the ruins of the world and find like, because he's lasted so long, they're trying to like find different pieces to like kind of Frankenstein him together to keep him alive.
Okay.
But even with that, he still like is just a beast. like um like where he's just like I don't know, he's not like super OP of a character because like pretty much because mainly like in those anime also he's not the main character, so that's the super OP character in that show is Newt, and like she's like super like she's like female Captain America.
Okay.
And like but literally like your weakness is the fact that you are in a super high-tech world and you have no augments.
Okay.
You're human, while um Biarios is like his main weakness is that like yeah, he can like withstand like his skin can withstand explosions and all that stuff, but he doesn't think as fast as a computer because Like
Human
he still
brain.
has a human brain, but then in the second story, there's like pretty much there's this whole thing where there's a war pretty much on cyborgs and people are like hacking into a system, and so like there's this whole thing. Pretty much the guy who said that was very much against Bluetooth because like that's when the little Bluetooth headsets were coming out,
Oh,
and
people were just wearing them all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there's like literally the Bluetooth headset. People that were wearing them, it looked exactly like the ones that were coming out around that time. Could send out a signal and have people go crazy and like start like pretty much doing terrorist attacks. But like um, Viarios pretty much was a huge Bluetooth signal, and there's like multiple times where they like control him. Um,
Okay.
but I don't know. He's kind of like that voice of reason the whole time, where like because it's one of those really neat things because when you first meet Newt, she is like she's in war and like she's still in there, like she's surviving and like scavenging things, and she thinks like she's behind enemy lines and forgotten about, which she was forgotten about, but it's like she's not facing, she's either facing like gangs or just like war machines that they just left out there because like well no one's out there, and then they accidentally find her. And so there's a lot of times where she's trying to adjust to non-war life and
Mm-hmm.
always being on patrol, while Biarios is there. Like he's like, I know I don't look the same and all that, um, and like they make up with each other and just like okay because like she thought he left and like was just like heck with you, but it's like girl, my whole body exploded. Like there's nothing I could do. But
It
yeah,
reminds
he
me of sorry, it just reminds
go
me of
ahead.
Mass Effect. I don't know. Did you play them? I keep forgetting if you have or
I played a
not.
little bit of the first one, but
Okay. The second one has a similar like opening where it's like you essentially like something bad happens to you and then you get brought back to life by a company because you were near death, and then all of your love interests from the first game were like, "Wow, I can't believe you're working with them." It's like I didn't have choice. I just I
that must have killed you. No love.
Oh no, I didn't really like the first. Well,
Okay,
the
I don't
ones
know.
that got particularly angry, if I remember. No, I can't remember if the person I ended up with wrote a letter, but I know there's some characters that will write a letter like, "Wow, you didn't contact me in all those years, and now you're working for the people we were fighting against in the first game," and you're like, "I don't have choice. It's just I. It's
I is.
is." So it
Yeah,
sounds like the same thing where it's like, "Oh, I thought you abandoned me and you were being a bully." It's
yeah.
like, "No, I needed
It
to be brought back."
yeah. Well, it's like a little bit where she thought he was dead because she saw the explosion.
Oh, okay. So
And,
okay.
but then it's like you've been alive this whole time, and he's like, I thought you were dead. It was like one of those things, but at
Ah.
the same time, like she's still like a little bit mad. Like, why didn't you come get me? It's like one, I thought you were dead. Two, I was being rebuilt. So,
Wasn't in my
uh,
power.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. He's just like really like a neat character, and like I don't know if it's because I haven't read or watched Appleseed in a while,
Hmm.
if I'm clouding my vision of him, but I just think I don't know. I like the cool big robot characters. Um and like I don't know, he was just I don't know. It's just really fun just watching him like
Kick
because
butt.
yeah, kick butt, and it's also funny because he's like Ex Machina is the name of the second movie. Um and he pretty much he's 42 years old, and I'm just imagining like a 42-year-old running around shooting guns. He's like, oh, I'm too old for this, but he's just still like shooting and everything, and just um but yeah, yeah, it's just a real fun time just listening to him. Like I'm just scrolling through. He has a real cool design as well, and if I remember correctly, he's his second name, which is the name of the model of like cyborg he's based off of. I believe he's able to like it's named after like 1,000 armed god or something like that. Let's
Okay.
see. 100 armed giants. Hikari Het, Hecatonchires. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like an ancient Greek, like 100 armed giants.
Okay.
And there's like his arms are like kind of General Grievous a little bit, if I'm remembering. Like he's able to. I don't know if that's like if he has multiple arms or the fact that he's able to use pretty much any gun he gets his hand on.
Oh, or when I hear stuff like that, I feel like in anime it's like he punches so fast. It's like he has 100 arms.
Yeah, he does have like he can like he is strong, but the thing is like he's not like super fast of a character. Like he's much more like because his whole training is in excuse me, his whole training is pretty much in gun work because that's what he was when he was human. Like he was the point man and stuff. Or I don't know. He was a sniper and then other stuff and like he did stuff like that. But like he is strong because of his cybernetic parts, but like that's not what he relies on and he is much weaker and in that sense, like to hand-to-hand combat, while Newt is much more like she is good at a gun, but also is way better at like the hand-to-hand close combat, while he's much better at like kind of range.
Okay.
I'm just okay. Yes, he does have the ability with multiple limbs seen. Yeah, so I was right. But yeah, he's a cool character. Appleseed's a fun show. It's like I'll admit, like it was made in 2002. I think 2004 was the first one, and it was cell shaded, so not everything. It was CGI, so not everything aged well, but it's still a good time.
Okay. Now, when you were talking about like giant robot, I kept imagining in my head. I heard recently that like they have the giant Gundam in Japan. Apparently, they've got it to move.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been
yeah.
watching that. I've been watching that. I'm like, yeah, that's their whole goal. They switched out the RX-78. I'm such a nerd. They switched that out with the I believe Gundam Unicorn, which like it lights up and everything.
Okay.
But they're taking and for people who don't know what oh man,
you just said it.
Yeah, the ZX-78 or RX-78. It's pretty much like the Gundam that you see on the cover of everything. It's the white, blue, and yellow and red Gundam with the shield and the beam sword. Which cracks me up as I learn more about Gundams. Like that was some garbage prototype that only made it so far because the dude was a really good pilot. But it's like a garbage suit. But everyone in America knows about it.
It's the cover, yeah.
Yeah. Still a really cool looking Gundam though. I don't care. But yeah, the guy who made Gundam is like, yo, let's make this one actually move. And so it looks like they got the top body moving, and it's like, do we get those legs?
Yeah, but okay. Anything else you wanna?
Nope, because I already closed the wiki tab on that. So
therefore conversation over.
Conversation is done because I've ran out of things to say.
No, that's fine. You did go into a good description because I've never heard of it. I feel like for the other ones, like we both knew about it, so we were like, what else can we say other than we like these robots?
I think my other ones are a little bit. Well, I know mine are the next two are more mainstream, and people should probably recognize who they are.
Okay. All right. So my number one, I don't know how mainstream it is. I just know the robot became viral sometime maybe 2010-ish. I'm not sure actually how long they've been building this robot, but this is like a real life robot, not a media robot. This is Spot from Boston Dynamics. I don't know if you've heard of it. I just remember the video of them kicking him constantly going, see, he can get back up, and I'm like, no, stop, he's trying his best. But for anyone that doesn't know what Spot is, their website says that it's a nimble robot that can climb stairs, traverse rough terrain with ease, and is small enough to be used indoors, and is a very customizable robot that has remote operation you can use for, or autonomous sensing. So essentially, from what I understand, they built the robot so that it could, move around, so that it can have uses in like rescues potentially to help find people, in construction where you might not want people moving around, so that if, a robot gets hurt instead of a person, potentially delivering unsafe materials, potentially going near patients that might have immunodeficiencies, so that they don't come in contact with too many people if they don't have to. Apparently on their website they also have them for entertainment. That one throws me off. It says program dynamic movements and expressive poses through their API or drive the robot in real time as part of a performance. So I guess if you want like really cool camera work, I don't know. I'm not sure. But basically what Spot looks like, it's like got the body, just the body of a dog, no head, no tail, and like flamingo knees. And then for its, yeah, they're all like back, like.
I just never heard it explained like that, so it just cracks.
Well, I guess no, they're not flamingo. No. Some of the pictures, the perspective makes it look like they're back. Like flamingos have like the inverted knees. No, this has normal knees. And then for feet, it's got like round pads. So I guess that's what helps keep it walking on the terrain. But no, I just always thought, like me being my nerdy self, I just think it's really cool for them to like build a robot with all these uses that's customizable. But it's just the first time I ever heard about it, it's kind of like the Wall-E story where you're like, no, protect Wall-E. I was like, no, protect Spot. Because to prove that the robot could handle like various terrains and always get up, because that's a thing with robots where they're very like stiff. But they kept kicking it and he just kept like wobbling and then standing up again. And I believe there's other videos where after that got viral, they showed more videos of it like running outdoors, being able to open doors, like it can kick, like the push bars, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just
Crash bar.
it's just a really cool robot that has a lot of like real life uses. Oh, there is. Okay, so I'm not crazy. In the oil and gas picture on their website, they do show it with. Oh no, it's walking backwards. Is that? Or no, is it walking forwards? And the perspective of the picture is just throwing me off.
I don't know. I don't have the pictures. So.
No, but I don't know. I think he's a pretty fascinating robot if you're into like current robots, not just all of our science fiction robots that we've mentioned.
All mine are science fiction robots.
Which is fine.
My only experience with this is like I saw the GIFs and stuff. However, I saw it's pretty much not. Well, I watched a video where these two people talked about it. It was Disguised Toast and Michael Reeves, and they were like, "Dude, we want to get one of those Boston Dynamic robots," and they're like, "Oh, what can we do with it?" And it's like, "We can make it piss beer." And they were arguing with one of their roommates because she wanted a cat, and they're like, "Well, we want this robot dog." and Yvonne, that was the roommate that wanted the cat, and they're like, "Well, what can we?" And it's like, "What can we do, Yvonne?" Like I remember this guy's test was just saying like, "What can we do, Yvonne, to sell you on Robot Talk?" He's like, "Nothing. There's nothing." And then I think Michael Reeves like, "Okay, but what if it pissed Starbucks?" And she's like, "Oh, you got me there." It's just like. But like they're getting like they won a multi-million-dollar robot dog, but all they wanted to do is piss out liquids.
Yeah, from what I understand, it looks like some websites are reporting that you can get it for $75,000. And there's been a lot of, I guess, articles recently on different applications they've used for the robot. But I forgot that Boston Dynamics just does other cool robots. Have you seen the robot doing a flip?
No.
Yeah, they have a robot that can like do backflips and stuff. Let me see if I can find a video to send you.
I'm watching a video of the dog walking now. You're right. The knees go backwards.
Okay. I can't tell what the head is and what the butt is.
Yeah. It doesn't help. Like if I'm looking at the webpage you just sent me. It's the butt is facing the words.
Okay. But yeah, like Boston Dynamics, I think, has a lot of cool different robots that they're building.
I have seen this one.
Yeah, I forgot this one's named Atlas, who's also really mobile.
Soon.
He can do parkour.
Soon we'll have Skynet. I'm looking at this mining, electric utility. Yeah, this is what healthcare. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was just like, hey, you buy healthcare. Do I have to?
No, but yeah, overall, I think it's just a cool example of like a lot of this stuff seems like sci-fi when you talk about robots, but there are a lot of cool examples of
Oh
like
yeah.
current existing robots and technology advancements. As far as the smarts level, AI is a scary thing. I just finished reading what Android or do androids dream of electric
Electric
sheep.
sheep. There you go. I just clicked on um the shop the shop page.
Okay.
Um your basic one is 74.5K.
Yeah, that's what I saw reported, like 75K.
75K.
And that's just an
But then
Explorer.
but then you
Oh,
scroll down a little bit more. Well,
options.
there's two other ones that you have to actually ask and contact them. Yeah, getting a cat was a much cheaper option. Um let's see. Awareness. SpotCam provides a color panorama and communication capabilities, enabling an improved teleoperation experience. 21K. Well, pretty much 22K
22K, yeah.
if we round up.
And then a really expensive GPU for almost 25K.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Oh, and then an even fancier Cam
Camera, yeah, I was
Plus.
looking at that. PTZ cameras are cool though. So,
You get
um,
a lot of like ranges of motion with those.
um,
Yeah, so if you want every upgrade, I don't want to do the math, but that's an expensive robot.
let's see, 30, 22, so that's 52. I'm done.
Yeah, lots of math.
Yeah. So guys, that's the next thing on the Patreon goal. First one is actually making one. Second one is robot dog. Um, we will trade on the weekends.
We'll have a contract for rights. But yeah, like I don't have anything particular. Like there's not. I didn't do a lot of research on how the robot works or all the technology of it. I just think it's
It's just
cool.
cool.
It's very cool because I think it's that it reminds you that we've actually have some really decent technology where, like 30 so years ago, well, maybe even like 20 years ago, it's like you read a book and you're like, that'd be a cool concept. And now you have this robo dog that's like chugging along. You have the
Yeah.
Atlas robot that can do backflips and parkour and be stabilized itself. It's fun.
It makes me wonder, like, okay, so when we look at like I think a lot of comic book media right now, and some TV shows have this as well, where the future is like is robots and other stuff that is super cool, and we're looking at the like we're pretty much, I don't know if you agree, but I look at this, we're in like this middling time where there's still stuff we can explore, but we've explored a lot,
Oh, yeah.
um, to where we've reached the limits of tech wise what we can do now.
Yeah, it depends. There is, if you, like in my undergrad studies, there are laws where they say, it's called Moore's Law, and it
Hmm.
basically says that there is going to be a plateau point where, when computers first came out, you needed an entire room and you needed like fans and central air conditioning for just that room because the unit was so large because the pieces of technology would take up an entire wall. So no one had computers. But over the years, you were able to make technology smaller, faster, stronger. Moore's Law
Hmm.
basically says that there's going to be a point where you can't make it smaller anymore. You can't make it better. Like, there's going to be a plateau point, and that
Yeah.
you're going to have to, rather than focusing energy on just that, you're going to be like, maybe there's a better material?
Yeah.
Like, you'll read, we, yeah, our phones are basically computers.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're so
No, like,
smart.
not basically, they are.
And the cost of them, like new phones, don't they try and start them off at like thousands now,
Yeah.
or a
Like
thousand and
a
then some?
thousand. I don't know. There's like some celebrity. I remember I looked it up, but there's like black marked phones that are just super expensive that are like in the tens of thousands.
Cool.
I was like, it's a real cool phone, but I don't want to be that much of an individual for that price. Um, but what I was pretty much what I was gonna ask was, um, So if we look at the like 80s and 90s, like we had people writing um fictional stuff that looked at the future with like flying cars and stuff. And we still get some of that in the 2000s, except everyone's depressed now. So they write about like kind of
Saving the
like
world.
saving the world or just the world is going to fall apart, which it's really interesting. The guy who wrote Martian, I kind of like his take on it because he's like really the only thing because his next book is actually people colonizing Mars.
Okay.
And like he's like, yeah, whenever anybody not Mars, sorry, the moon. And he's like, really, like everyone looks at colonizing another planet and stuff. Is that because the world is like Earth is garbage and all this stuff, and we can't live there anymore? It's like I'm looking at it differently. I think the only thing that's stopping us is uh is that it's just not affordable yet. So once that's affordable, like all the elite and rich people are gonna go live there because they can afford it and be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it's the as long as they market it as being exclusive, then they'll definitely give them enough money to like prove to be like I was the first person on Mars.
Yeah, which we can kind of see that Elon Musk like is doing stuff like
Yeah, except
with all that.
he's been at least transparent enough to say if you sign up, you're not coming back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um and but yeah, pretty much like that's kind of where we're at now. I'm wondering, and I don't know if I will be alive to see this happen. I don't know. Maybe if I get some Vicarious robot parts, but um I'm wondering, like, the world where our fantasy and imagination is fantasy and imagination for science future stuff, like, where, man, living on Mars or the moon or space travel and exploring the universe becomes a thing. What will fiction be written about then? Like, what we can, like, I'm just wondering, like, will science fiction become more like where comic books go, but more crazy into like dimensional travel and like kind of wrinkle in time, and we'll start seeing more of that become prevalent? It's a question that we'll never have an answer to for
No,
at
maybe
least
probably not in our if
maybe
it
next podcast,
maybe
but
next
not this
podcast.
one.
Yeah, no, it's interesting though because there are a lot of like fiction books that I've read into that are interesting where they talk about like controlling time travel and stuff. There was one I read that
Yeah.
was called Recursion. I forget the author's name off the top of my head. Blake something or something Blake, and I did enjoy it. At least I enjoyed his concept of it. I'm playing Steins Gate right now, and they talk about like being able to manipulate time and figure out a way to
Are you sure?
conceptually
I've
time
only seen
travel.
one thing come out of those playthroughs.
It's me screaming, but they do a lot of science fiction lecturing that gives them like
Oh,
a strong basis. So I
you might
appreciate
have just
that.
sold that game on me.
It's it takes a while. I think my playthrough I'm like 13 hours in and people are like you're getting to the meat of it. I'm like the meat.
Oh. You mean he's a dude? It wasn't the meat?
But what was I saying? But it would be interesting. I think it's fascinating in some sci-fi I've read where their fiction becomes historical fiction in like what was Earth like? This is all we have left from Earth. What do you think they did with this? Or
Hmm.
why do we have these customs that don't make sense on Mars or the moon? It's because they made sense on Earth, and then there's a lot of like fiction
Yeah.
relating to that. So that could be it. But it is interesting to think about because you have to think like every couple of decades people are like wow phones how are we going to wirelessly talk to people if we don't have to
Yeah.
see them and now we have it or how are we connect to the world I would never be able to instantly talk to someone on the other side of the planet we have that
Like,
like
yeah.
it is interesting.
So I don't know. That's welcome to the deep recesses of DPayne's mind. And it's just like, what is this thing that I'll never actually know in my lifetime?
But yeah, are you ready to talk about your least favorite robots?
Yeah. Um. I'll admit one of them. I think everyone like this specific robot. I don't think anyone would, if they saw the work that he's in, would want to be part of it. But yeah, my runner up, I'm gonna say we're all gamers here, so we probably all recognize the old boy that I'm about to name. called Claptrap.
I love Claptrap.
Yeah, Claptrap is nice to a point, but I don't think if I had like if I look at the other two robots I named, Vicarious and Wally, I would love to hang out with those dudes. I think I wouldn't be able to last long term with a Claptrap.
I think what I like about Claptrap, like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to hang out with him, but like, I wouldn't be able to hang out with Marvin, the paranoid android, very long.
Yes, very
But
true. Yeah.
yeah, I think Claptrap and Marvin are.
Oh, that'd be such a great TV show.
Yeah, but I think they actually are. If you actually look at the way that their characters work, they're pretty close. But Claptrap's voice, because he's a robot, is set to one tone. Like he's only allowed to sound happy, but he has some voice lines where he's self-aware.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I remember like now that you mention it, I do remember that, but it's just like I don't think I would want to listen to that voice for multiple hours on end. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, so for anyone that's listening to an audio version, I have had a Pop Funko of Claptrap. I think when Pop Funkos were first becoming like a thing, I know that they've basically like have Pop Funkos for obscure things. Like I don't know why anyone would buy Pop Funkos for the Garbage Pail Kids. Sorry if you did, but like but no, I've had one for Claptrap for a very long time, and he sits behind me on my shelf of collectible things. He's not collectible because he's open though, but you know.
It's your collectible thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know, like it's pretty much I like for that world, it's a needed because everyone is just like this sucks and just like Vault no but then like Claptrap's like hey and it's a good like balance for that world, but it was just one of those things where I'm just sitting there like I was kind of having trouble thinking of who knows, and I was like I just wouldn't want to hang out with him like on multiple hours.
I can understand that.
And that's pretty much it. Like he's still a cool robot. Like but
I don't know, one of my favorite things about him though is, did you do the quest for his birthday party?
okay, so here's the other thing. I never beat a Borderlands game.
It the first two Borderlands, I really loved.
I get up okay, so I don't even know how far I even make it, but I know in the first one, oh, it's been so long, I'm forgetting it. Like I always get up to like a certain point. Like whenever I try Borderlands 1 and 2, I always get up to a certain spot and then I just don't want to play anymore. And I can't remember where it is in Battlelands, Borderlands 1, but I remember very clearly in Borderlands 2, I normally stop playing as soon as I meet Tiny Tina. Because
Tiny Tina's my favorite character.
oh yeah, she's my favorite too, and I'm like, you're not gonna top this. I'm done.
You need to finish it though, because her DLC is still one of my
Yeah.
favorite DLCs of all time.
I want to play the DLC. I think what I'm just gonna have to do is pretty much how I play 4X games now is just
Have
like,
someone else there.
yeah, just like get a group of 3 other people. Maybe if it's like it doesn't have to be every week, but maybe it's just like once or twice a month we're gonna just work our way through, and it's like
The only thing I would recommend, so I played through Borderlands 1 and 2 with just Strider, and both of us agreed how we were going to handle the quests, because there's so many side quests versus main quests. So I would just be careful to make sure you iterate that for people, because like if you want to do the side quests and they don't, then it'd just be like pulling teeth trying to get through the game and having fun with it. But I personally love the side quests in the Borderlands games, because I think they have some like great hidden writing in it and great humor that you don't always get. Because I did play the pre-sequel with a third person, because we got along with him well, but he just wanted to finish the game. So it became very like we didn't want to play it anymore, because we technically finished it very quickly, but we didn't get to enjoy the world. Not that I would recommend the pre-sequel to anyone, but like we couldn't tell if we didn't like the game because we got dragged through it faster than we would have liked, or if it was just because it was just in the universe but not like its own game I think is how I felt about it overall. But no, in the first Borderlands, I believe it's the first one, there's a quest for Claptrap for his birthday. And he sends you on this quest to collect all this party supplies. And you're like, fine, I'll go to your birthday party. And you go and nobody shows up. And he's like laugh crying. And you're like, he's like, how am I going to eat 10 pizzas? Like, oh, buddy.
Oh, God, let me tell you.
No. I think that's in the first two. But I think if you didn't do a lot of like side stuff with Claptrap, he just the intro to Borderlands 1, Claptrap is very annoying because he's like, hey, come here, do this. Oh, I'm getting shot at. And he's like screaming a lot.
Same in Borderlands 2. That's when the bully Mog rips his eye out.
And you have to go retrieve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this, like, it's that thing where I think the side quests really help you appreciate him better. Because just in the main line, he's that character that is just like there to tell you what to do, and I can understand where that would just be grating on you. You're just like, I get it, I have to go, I get it.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I think this was just telling me is that Hop needs to play with me and show me where the Claptrap lore is. Not joking.
There's a lot of the first one. I think they didn't. There's like a lot of like hidden stuff, but they didn't really connect pieces. And the second one, they do a lot of like overarching to make it feel like a good sequel, because I know some games they say it's a sequel but it's really just something else in the universe, but they do a lot of like character calling and bringing things back and references and making it feel like a decent sequel without just using the same characters again.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, when I get my PC upgraded and all that, might be something I'll look into.
No, the first two Borderlands should not be heavy. How old are they now?
I don't know.
Because I think I had like traded in my Wii for Xbox 360 to be able to play Borderlands with people online.
Is it on Steam?
It should be. Because I know I had friends in college that were waiting for it to be ported over so that they could play it online with friends.
I'm looking right now.
The first one at least is.
Yeah, they're all on there.
Okay.
Oh, apparently I own Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel.
Oh, look at you.
The first one. Why is Borderlands 2 cheaper than... Oh, because that's the game of the year.
Oh, they're doing their specials.
And there's Borderlands 3. Apparently there's Borderlands 2 VR. Huh. But, yeah, I don't know. If anyone's here listening is like, oh man, I'd like to see DPayne play through that. It's like, well, no promises. Like, I think, honestly, if I played through there, I would want a group that kind of knows what they're doing and tells me. And
I think it's fine. I don't think you need a full 4 if that makes it easier for you to plan.
Yeah, or just anybody. And it's like, I know earlier I joked with Hop, but like that's nothing. Like that's me just joking. I'm not saying like, hey, let's do it.
No, I would not be opposed, because like I like revisiting games because sometimes you notice things that you didn't on first playthrough. Yeah, and it's been long enough that it would feel mostly new.
Yeah. So, and then you can tell me what are the good side quests. We can figure this out. We talk.
I would do every side quest.
Okay, works for me, guys. TFT is over. It's now Borderlands time.
This current set of TFT is so good, though.
I know. I love it. I haven't had time to go back in. Oh man, magic set. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Claptrap. And guys, I guess there you go. Peek behind the curtain for what may potentially come or may not. We don't know yet.
We like to make plans as content creators, but do we have enough time?
Well, let's be fair. There's a lot of stuff as both of us that were like, you want to do this? Yeah, okay.
That's kind of how the podcast was born.
Yeah. This is like, it started off, okay, lore how the podcast started. Hey man, we have pretty good chemistry talking with TFT. Sounds like a podcast. Yeah. Want to try it? Oh no. Do you have anything against it? No. Okay. And then a month later, it was born.
Yeah, but okay. So my runner-up for my least favorite robot is Alpha 5 from Power Rangers.
Oh, okay. Quick note before you go on. EOG, when I mentioned to him on Thursday what we were talking about today, was like, dude, you got to talk about Alpha 5, and I completely forgot. And he's like, it was one of his favorites. So he listens to this later. Sorry, buddy.
I don't know. Alpha 5 for me, all I remember him from as a kid is him screaming.
Yeah, that's all he did when because I forgot about him.
Yeah,
I
like
wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers because I wrecked the house.
oh yeah, you did tell me that. No, well, I do have the bias where my brother and sister essentially ruined Power Rangers for me, where rather than getting to enjoy Power Rangers at my age, they pointed out how like staged and how much it felt
Mhm.
like how choreographed it was. Granted, not that like actual fighting stuff isn't choreographed, but they did show me movies like Ong Bak around that age. So like me watching like really hard hitting kickboxing where a guy kicks a boulder into another dude and then go into Power Rangers and my friends being like, look at them karate chop. I'm like, this is
It's like Santa
lame.
Claus.
Yeah. It's like
You're
they
just
pointed
like
it.
holding back a tear.
Well, like I, as I've mentioned with like Digimon, I don't know. I just am very stubborn. So when my brother and sister pointed out, like, hey, if you look at their feet when they do the foot swipe thing, they don't touch. And I watched, and it was like 3 inches apart, and the other guy flies off the hood of a car, and I was like, this isn't fun. This is
they
supposed to be the cool part.
they do that in Return of the Jedi.
Do they? It's
Yeah,
obvious.
there's like oh yeah, it's not like even like 3 inches. It's like a full 2 feet where Luke kicks. And there's like a gif I saw where Luke kicks and the guy like flies away and then they pause it and it's just like this far like like feet away and it's just like they pause it and they're like force kick.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I don't remember. Like, I remember watching the first. I think it's whatever the first American season was, the dinosaur one,
Oh yeah,
and
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
yeah, and that one I do remember watching as a kid because one of the girls was a saber-toothed tiger, and it may not be a dinosaur, but for the longest time, it was my favorite dinosaur.
Makes sense.
But it has fur. I just remember though, like I'm looking at the wiki for Alpha 5, and his catchphrase is "I yee 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 yee." Is that a catchphrase?
It's another claptrap, but this one has legs.
And flashing lights.
Yeah. Well, come on. You know Claptrap would have flashing lights if he could.
No, but what was his purpose again? It was just Power Rangers talk to Big Head Man Zordon, and then
Yeah,
like
he was the butler. Robot butler.
Robutler.
Oh man, that sounds like a fun TV show. That sounds like a cool anime. I don't know what Black Butler's about, but oh my goodness, move over. Ro Butler is here to stay.
I vaguely know what Black Butler is about. I didn't watch it personally, but I do
don't know
know there's a
anything
lot of thirsty people relating to the character, so be careful there.
I just know the name, and I think my brother watched it, and he's like, "I like this, but I don't know anything about it," and that's me. I don't know anything about it, so yeah. Alpha 5.
Yeah, but yeah, like reading through, it just says his purpose is he's non-combatant and he's a support role for the protagonists. So like, did EOG say like what he
No,
liked
it was just
about
more
it?
he liked him yelling. So,
Oh yeah, he does scream a lot. But the
yeah.
thing that I didn't realize, I forgot that they did the whole Power Rangers movie because I didn't. I tried to
Mhm.
not watch anything from my childhood made into live action after seeing the preview images for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wasn't Power Rangers already live action?
Well, like
A
you know, like
movie version.
yeah, whatever they decided like has to be the adult version for us to rewatch it. But yeah, you're right. But I mean, there's been real live action TMNT in various like
Yeah.
times in our childhood, and
Oh,
then
okay. So you're talking about TV. I thought you were saying a live action version of Power Rangers. I'm like, it always was live action.
I just meant like
Okay.
when they
Yes, I understand now.
reimagine our kids stuff. Like
Yes.
Transformers was Michael Bay, and they were like explosions. It's like fine. Did Michael Bay do TMNT when he gave them noses?
Yes.
Okay, and then did he also do the edgier Power Rangers
No, that was Hasbro. Hasbro.
that did the
Cookie,
new
cookie
movie?
company. Yeah. I don't know who directed it.
Oh,
Power
I don't
Rangers.
recognize the name that I'm looking at it. But Bill Hader voices Alpha 5 in that movie. And I do like Bill Hader. I wonder if he also screams a lot as the character or they decided to give the robot another role.
Dean Israelite. Oh wait, I remember he did something cool, and that's how he got it. I'm looking through there. He did Battle LA, Battle Los Angeles, and I don't know Project Alchemac.
Almanac.
And Land, which I heard that one was cool. I think that's what is this?
It's like kid with like brain powers, right?
I have no clue. Now I just want to watch something that has nothing to do with any of these.
But yeah, I don't have much to say about Alpha 5 other than I just remember screeching and him wildly moving his arms because, costume limitations and him not serving a purpose. Like, I feel like the Rangers would have ended up doing whatever they did in their base with Zordon with or without Alpha 5. I mean, Alpha 5 hit the button to talk to Zordon, right? Maybe.
Like, as I said, I wasn't allowed to watch it because I wrecked the living room. And then they let me watch an episode and it scared the pants off me and I never wanted to watch it again.
Yeah, like I watched it not very often and I don't remember much from it.
I remember the episode that scared me because I started doing the same thing. I was fighting and then Red Ranger got eaten by a dude, like a monster dude. And then there was a ball in there that shot out gas. And I'm like, I can't handle this. Let's go to the beach. Because we were at the beach house and I think my parents were like, well, it's not our house. Go ahead, wreck it. So, but yeah, I do like how our runner-ups for worst robots are just, to us, very annoying.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
So
yeah, I don't know enough about him.
That's fine.
My favorite Power Ranger fact is, in the Power Rangers, there's 4 dudes and 1 girl when they're in their Ranger suit. Because a Yellow Ranger in America, yellow is a lady color in America, while in Japan it's like shut up, wear the yellow. And yeah, the reason you could tell is because the Yellow Ranger didn't wear a dress or a skirt when she fought, while Pink Ranger did.
Yeah, America likes to change things because they think, I don't know, because
well, there's things that will just fit better for American audiences than they would like in other places. So a big example, actually, this is the second time I'm going to mention Nier, but Nier is one of my favorite video game series of all time. But in Japan, so in the first Nier game, you play as this character, and in America he is protecting his daughter, and his daughter is has some medical issues, and it's just you're always there trying to find out, and you're trying to, and there's a point where you have to go save her and protect her, and you're doing everything to go save your daughter. In Japan, when this was released, originally it was an older brother and older brother and sister, and it's pretty much the exact same writing on both ends, except just the title change of father daughter, brother sister.
No, like that I understand, so but
yeah,
does color shouldn't matter to gender to bring it over to America.
But then it also was the 90s.
It was the 90s, but I just mean I understand changing.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying too.
Yeah,
it's just a part of me wonders is because the other thing was
I mean, there's also, did you hear about Ghibli and him first trying to release Princess Mononoke to the West?
No. Well, I might have, but I don't know.
I forget the guy's name. It's the guy that got in trouble in Hollywood. I think it is. Told Ghibli.
You gotta be a little bit more specific.
The guy that actually got arrested and charged. That owns that really big company. Starts with a W, I think. But
yeah.
But apparently, I think he was the guy that told Ghibli, he was like, if you want this to do well in the US, you have to cut the movie. It's too long. And Ghibli sent him a sword and said, no cuts.
I think I do remember this.
Yeah, but when you think about it, Princess Mononoke is a lot of people's favorite Ghibli film.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, but
I also like Spirited Away. I like them all.
Yeah, they're all pretty good in their own ways.
Well, I haven't watched the World War II one. So.
Yeah, I've been told Graveyard of Fireflies is very sad, and then I haven't watched that. I also haven't watched Howl's Moving Castle, which is a lot of other people's favorites. But I have.
I remember when Toonami showed them all.
Oh, that's neat. No, I remember I've watched Kiki's, Ponyo, Mononoke, Spirited Away, Totoro. But anyway, before more off topic. But yeah, imagine if they actually, like, if Ghibli let them edit Princess Mononoke to make the West happy. I don't think I would
Yeah.
like the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't. Like, and so much like I guess I'm not thinking of like cuts to films and stuff like that. It's just more of like the brother sister dynamic to that part, like that. Not a lot of people played near, but it's just like if those two characters were brother sister rather than being a father and daughter, like just would that story like that's all people is like, why are you talking to your sister that way?
I
And it's
mean,
like
yeah, but then,
it's
like, everyone
like, and I'm
does.
just using that as one
Yeah, but
example. It's like there's multiple other
everyone
ones
gets
that
mad at me when I bring up that I find Riku and Sora and Kingdom Hearts to be closer than American friendships are. And they're like, no, they're friends. He's going to marry Kairi. And I'm like, Kyrie's just like chilling while Sora is off into jumping through universes because Riku decided to become a bad guy to save his soul.
they're both punks.
They're both punks. But I joke with my like I when I was like a teenager, I was like, no one thinks that they're dating. Like it's not like it mattered to me. I was like, no, it makes more sense to me that those two are dating. They're like, no, they're best friends. And I'm like, would you jump into a portal into not knowing where you're gonna end up for like your friend sitting next to you? He's like, nah, he's not that cool. Like those two are cool. And I was like, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
So I do know like relationships and stuff like that feel different
Yeah.
culturally, but like in some media they leave it
Yeah,
and
no, I understand what you're saying.
it's I don't know. There's no good balance. I'd
Yeah.
personally rather would enjoy the piece for what it is, but I've also at this point watched like when I was a teenager, I don't watch a lot of anime. I think I only watched like two or three and it was mainly whatever's on Toonami, so it was very shonen and they don't show you
Yeah.
anything beyond just fights. But now
Yeah.
that I tried
And
learning
the
Japanese.
tournament arc.
Yeah, the tournaments. Dragon Ball Z. How many tournaments can we fit in an arc?
More than we want.
And then sudden bad guy. But yeah, and then now as an adult, I've like looked into what it would be like to visit Japan. I've tried to learn some of the language. I've watched a variety of animes at this point. So like now as an adult, I feel like I could go back and just understand that the relationships are different. But I know some animes like there are times like even though I understand the culture, brother sister seem too close. And I'm
Yeah.
like, guys, they're hugging and like touching each other's faces. And they're like, no, that's just like brothers and sisters are close in Japan. I'm like, it's just, physical touching is not being
Yeah.
close. That's something else.
Yeah. And it like that's I guess that's more kind of I don't know. It's I understand what you're saying, and it's like I also think like I know like I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like I would like to see the original cut, but like I also can also see to the mass other like the mass America to like
Oh yeah, to
Asian
convince them
to
to buy it. Yeah.
yes, like things just have to be changed because there's just like some things people just won't like just cultural differences, and so
Yeah. I also
I
never
don't know.
considered yellow to be a female color. I always thought yellow was the neutral color you pick when you don't know the gender of the baby for the nursery.
I I don't. That was something I just remember. Like I never. I was the same. Man, this is weird. We got to stop finding things that we agreed with when we were kids because it was like I never put gender to like colors as well.
Like I understood like for baby showers, blue and pink. But beyond
Yeah.
that, like
Well, like I choose pink all the time for well, one because I
jelly
pink is
bean.
bright enough so I can see. So, um, but now it's just now I just pick it because it's funny. Like when we played Northern Guard, there was no pink. I'm like, what the heck am I gonna be? How am I gonna know who I am? And I had to go find the brightest color so I could. I was yellow. I was the Yellow Ranger. I like
We
how we said we didn't want to go on an off-topic tangent, but we
we've
did.
done a lot of off topic in this one.
It's
But
one of those.
I think it's
Episodes,
because
guys.
the robot thing is so broad and it just like
Yeah.
we keep hitting on different things. But okay. So did we talk about your least favorite yet?
No, no.
Nice.
So my least favorite, I don't know. It's not very much a model. It's very much a certain specific one. Which actually it's in your wheelhouse of one of your favorite horror movies. Alien, but it's not Alien. It's one of the spin-off things, Prometheus. Did you watch that one?
I did not because I heard like it seemed cool, but I've heard very mixed things on where it fits in the lore.
Yeah, I watched it. Um, and it wasn't a terrible movie, but it's like I'll also admit I don't know enough about Alien to be like I like the first Alien, but it's like I watched Prometheus and like
Isn't
I don't
it
know.
technically a prequel?
Yeah, it's technically a prequel.
Was it directed by Ridley Scott?
Think so.
Okay, because
I have the character that I'm going to say I hate very much in this where so anyway, pretty much it's a prequel because they find like these it's before xenomorphs exist and they find like this other planet and they're like, oh man, let's go here, and they go there and it's like, oh man, it's cool, and they got their humans and they got this other people, but then like you have this android named David. And if anyone's watched this movie, David is a turd. But also everyone on this ship gets what's coming to them because David does things to essentially screw over the crew right in front of them.
is he
And
like
they,
an android from the Wayland Corp?
yeah, he's one of
Oh,
those milk
okay.
bots. Um, and so yeah, so he's I actually don't know what they're actually called, but I just know when you stab the milk comes out in the video game. Um, but yeah, he like he pretty much has this whole thing, and he just experiments on the whole crew, and no one does anything against them. It says here like in the wiki that he's like pretty much just here to pretty much just trying to create the perfect organism, and like they send him out and he finds like this black gloop inside this cave, and like he does like, and then the thing he's doing like scans and trying to figure out what it is, to the point where he's like he gets a little bit and right in front of this person he's like, hey, do you want some of this drink, and he has it on his fingertip, and he just like so he hands the drink, he's like doot, and just touches the water right in front of the guy, and the guy's like, oh thanks. I'm like, no, stupid. And it's just like you get what's coming to you. And oh man, I'm just like kind of quickly scrolling through to see if there's other stuff in here, but yeah, um like he's just pretty much like that scientist that just wants to explore but explores too far.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's all against these people that were sent by the Wayland Corp to go find out what's happening here. To the point where like he essentially like just ruins this whole mission because he's like, but what does this do? and and just like I don't know if you have plans on watching it, so I don't want to like ruin it or give super big spoilers, but I don't know. I don't know. I think they try to hide the fact that David tries to kill people, but it's just like it's not a very far. Like,
It's very straightforward. Okay.
yeah, like to the point where it's just like you're like pretty much you're kind of sus there. So,
Vote David. He
yeah,
came out of event.
yeah, pretty much. It's like, and it's not as I forget what the Milkbot in the original one, like what its name was, but it's not like I don't think it gets to the point where it's like I'm gonna kill you with a magazine down your face, but yeah, it like almost gets to the point where I think he starts like and it almost starts an intergalactic war.
Jeez. Is it Bishop? Is that the one you're
um,
thinking of,
I
or?
think so. I don't. I recognize the name Bishop. I don't remember if he's the android or the synthetic, whatever they are.
Yeah.
But that being said, like synthetics are cool. Like they're a really cool tech thing. Like besides the fact that they want to murder any human that they're on a ship with. But I guess it's par for the course if they're made after humans. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like the just looking at them, it's cool tech. But this one in specific that I'm just remembering is just like it's like constant like
No, I think sorry. There is Bishop. I think Ash is the one that's the
Yeah,
bad
it's been
one.
a while since I watched them, so I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, and so like it's yeah, it's just definitely one of those things, and like as you said, you didn't watch it. Like if I don't know how well, like how much you actually want to watch it, but or if you even plan on it. But it doesn't really ruin anything to my memory if you know what happens. But um, oh, interesting. He's an Alien Covenant as well. Didn't know that because I didn't watch that one. Um, excuse me. But yeah, he that was the other one that people thought were really bad. So, but yeah, it's I just literally remember this scene where like that I just explained where he has this black gunk on his finger, and then like the whole time he's like, "Dude, are you okay? Are you okay?" And then like pretty much, let's just say two of the characters get to know each other a little bit more than just friends,
It's one way to
and
put it.
then one of them is the one of the guys that has the black gloop that was put into him, uh, which accelerates birth of something in one of the female crew. But he's like, "Oh, is everything okay?" And he's just like, "I know what's happening." And the audience is like, "Stab him, just kill him." But he's just like, "Hey, is everything okay there?" So yeah, he was Michael Fassbender.
Good actor.
Oh yeah, it was real good. Um, but yeah, it's that specific one. I don't know enough about all the synthetics in the Alien universe if there's actually like a cool one, but it seems like yeah, I don't know why they keep making them because they keep wanting to murder everybody.
I feel like I have to rewatch the movie. I've been saying I want to rewatch the first one, but
Yeah.
long list of movies to watch.
Yep. So that's all I have.
Okay. So my least favorite. I might need you to explain to me his purpose because I put him here because I don't know his purpose. All I know is that I found him annoying in the very few parts of the franchise that I watched, and that I have never seen him do anything that made me go, okay, he has a purpose. C3PO?
Oh man, he almost made my list too because I was wondering the same thing. What the heck does he do?
I asked Strider, and Strider said that he's, what is his claim? It's like he's a relations between
Yeah.
humans and androids or something, or cyborgs, but like I never once saw him translate anything for anyone.
I think in some of the prequels he does, but yeah, that's essentially what I believe he was made for. Was just he's an ambassador robot that sucks.
Yeah, because like
um,
all I remember, I was like, R2D2 is like, he's not intrusive, he delivers a message, he does things. And then there's like this big gold thing that's like, save me on
yeah,
repeat. And I was just like, wait, what are you? Where are you?
yeah. I remember. Was it in the new movies? Everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, he has a red arm. How do you get that red arm?" It's like he's a stinking robot. Like you replace parts. It's like that arm isn't now stained red with the blood of his enemies. Like he can barely walk.
Yeah, so for anyone that isn't familiar, I'm pretty much, I think I watched all of the New Hope, and I think I fell asleep during Empire Strikes Back, and that's about all of my honest knowledge of Star Wars. But I understand most of the memes just through context, like the high
Mhm.
ground, and but I know a lot of people just told me never to watch the prequels.
They're not terrible. Like I don't know. I don't have a big issue with them. Like, but at the same time, I am not a Star Wars like fan. Like I appreciate what they did for sci-fi culture, like film culture, but I prefer Star Trek a lot more.
Yeah, like I think of Star Wars as a space fantasy.
Yes.
But overall, yeah. So if anyone could tell us the purpose of C3PO, I'm
But
reading through this wiki of what he does in the first movie. It says that C3PO would translate R2D2's machine speech for the audience. But doesn't he just do it by just saying, like, Oh, R2,
Yes.
you're silly. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. I like that's what I was about to say is like that kind of just seems his purpose there is to have the one-sided conversation with R2 so people know what the heck he's saying or at least the context
mm-hmm.
without full out R2 just being like I don't know. I just imagine that R2 is just like the most foul robot. Like that's why like Luke had to like get away from him to do Jedi training stuff and like whatever the new trilogy with Rey and all the other ones. But yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
I
So, from a movie perspective, they say that C3PO is a foil, where a foil is just meant to highlight the actual good attributes of somebody else. So he exists just to make other people look better, if I understand a foil correctly. Any film majors can correct me, but it says like he's a foil to R2D2's antics and doing that one-sided like stuff for the audience. And then it says in Empire Strikes Back, it's him and Han that do it because C3PO is like, the odds of doing this are blah, blah, blah. And then Han's famous line of, don't, never tell me the
yeah, tell me the
odds.
odds, yeah.
And then defying the odds to make Han look cooler and C3PO look worse. Like, I guess.
Are there any like C3PO fans? Like I don't know. We'll find out.
All I understand is that everybody dislikes, what is that thing that looks like a hooded lizard that people memed might be the next Sith Lord who's in the prequels? It like speaks in third person.
I don't know.
Worst Star Wars
Well, I think you're gonna be getting a whole
characters.
bunch of stuff.
People. Okay. Let me just scroll because this is from 15 to 1.
Yeah. Donnie Yen's in there. Donnie Yen's so cool.
Yes, the number one least liked character in Star Wars, according to this article, is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, Jar Jar.
So that's the one that I understand. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Thanks,
yeah.
Sarah. And then, um, yeah, I never was annoyed with Jar Jar though because I think it's the fact that like he annoyed everyone else is what made me laugh. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
But
as
yeah,
far as people being like actual fans of C3PO, I wonder if it just becomes like people hate other characters in the overall series more than they hate C3PO. So
yeah,
C3PO is just like pushed aside when you have someone like Jar Jar Binks.
yeah. It's definitely one of those things where I'm sitting there and just thinking about like okay, like we look at all the other robots that like okay I can think off my head. R2D2 is just like yeah, he's your mechanic and he fixes stuff, and then the prequels he has jetpacks that he never uses again. Um, like he uses it in one scene because like well we have to make him do something. We have General Grievous who is just super cool and has multiple lightsabers and just uh has asthma pretty much. Um,
He's just Bane.
yeah. Actually, I think what it was is that like in one of the movies, like one of the Jedi like force crushes his chest and then he has trouble breathing, but that's like ever since that point on. Cause like thinking about it, he's like Vicario where um he's he's just like a heart and lungs, but like he doesn't have the huge hulking metal frame as Vicarius does. He's just like protected by like a rib cage of metal that like dude all you have to do is just shoot up if I remember correctly. But but yeah, so but anyway, General Grievous like he was a Jedi killer
Mm-hmm.
and was cool. And then like just look at all the like Empire before they made clones, like they had cool robots in there. And then there's just all these really neat robots. I'm pretty sure there's other ones I'm forgetting. And then you got stinking CP3O, made by old Darth Vader child himself. That's just there, and it's just like, oh my, and it's just like walks around like he has to go to the bathroom.
Shuffling his way there.
Yeah.
But I just looked at the time, and I don't think we'll have time for quizzes.
Yeah, it was one of them.
It was one of
When's the
those.
last time we did quizzes?
I don't know, but it's fine. We did like quizzes, but we went off on many tangents today.
Yeah. That's the thing, guys. You either get tangents or you get quizzes. Let us know what you want. We probably won't listen.
But no, I don't have anything particular to add on about C3PO. Did you want to be able to make a little bit of time to put in the announcement?
Oh yeah, there was always going to be time for the announcement.
No matter how much time we took.
That's a needed thing. Yeah, but no, I don't have anything to say about CP3O. But before we do that, do we want to just do a quick run through and then we can go into the announcement?
Oh yes. So as far as my list of robots go, I had a couple runner-ups. My two runner-ups for favorites were Bender and Wally. My second favorite robot is Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I also just love that series. And my number one is the Boston robot Spot. But looking at their other robots, Boston Dynamics. I think I've just been saying Boston Robot this whole time. But Boston Dynamics has a lot of cool robots.
Boston Robot. Hey, guy, get in the car. Wicked smart.
My least favorite runner-up was Alpha 5. And then my most least favorite, C3PO.
All right, and my favorites was Wally. It's funny, in parentheses, I wrote all the robots from Wally.
They're all precious.
They're all great. And then my number one was whose name I keep butchering, Barrios from Appleseed. And then my bad was Claptrap. Which, you know what, if a Borderlands playthrough does happen in the future, and I learn some of this Claptrap lore, I will be willing to go on the podcast and take back what I said. But I will not take back David from Prometheus because that guy's a butt. Yeah. So if you guys heard in the beginning of the episode, you heard that we are going to do something a little bit different. And by a little bit different, it means, yo, guys, we're doing a special announcement, which we are announcing now. Announcement music. Da, 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 announcement. So as people may or may not know, next Saturday will be the first Saturday of October, which Hop and I are big fans of the spooky day of Halloween. And so we were wondering and thought for about 5 minutes, I think it was, we're like, what if we took the whole month of October and just did spooky month? And yeah, we talked about something Halloween-esque. And so that's what we're doing. Yeah, so we're gonna be the poll's gonna be set up a little bit differently, but do you wanna share the actual topics that we're gonna be talking about?
Yeah. So to talk about topics, we thought we did do kind of like a specific one on another podcast that was vampires versus werewolves, but we thought we could talk more about our actual most and least favorites and all the different types of typical Halloween monsters. So the ones that we came up with for our list, we tried to go with ones that are very common and also in just a lot of different things. So we had a lot of material to pull
like
from.
A robot episode now that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, but we've got vampires, ghosts, werewolves, mummies, zombies, and witches.
Yes.
Oh, wait, is that 6?
Oh, sorry, what?
Is that actually 6? It is 6 because we can't count.
No, I remember we said this because we were going to have one be deleted.
Oh, yes. So the least interested topic based on the straw poll will not be talked about. So you've got 6 options for us to fill in for 5 weeks.
Is it straw poll? I think we're putting on Twitter.
Oh,
anyway,
I thought we said Twitter won't last long enough if we wanted this to be a whole month. I think Twitter polls only last a week at most.
Okay, so here you go, guys, a little bit behind the scenes because I think we both misunderstood. Well, I think we're both remember one thing, and I think we both took different parts of that conversation because I thought.
Oh yeah, we said that usually if we let it last longer. Sorry, tired brain.
Yeah,
too many thoughts in brain. No thinking. So yes, a Twitter poll as usual.
Yes, Twitter poll as usual. There will be the 5 options. But if we can't get the 5 options, we will use a straw poll. And pretty much for the normal time for the next one, you guys are going to be able to vote. And we want, like, if you guys can share these out, because what it's going to happen is that whatever one gets the most, like, it's people are going to be able to vote, and then obviously there's going to be 6 options, but there's only 5 months in October, or five months in October,
If
guys.
only.
5 Saturdays in October. And so because of that, whatever is the second least one amount of votes, that's what we're going to be doing the first Saturday. Third least is going to be what we do the second week, all the way up to whatever has the most votes. We'll do actually on Halloween, because that's how the year lines up. So we will have a Halloween event podcast, and we will do whatever Halloween monster gets the most votes. Now, whatever one gets the least amount of votes, they are the weakest link, and they are
Goodbye.
poo-pooed off the stage. So there's that. We just figured this would be a fun thing. I think it was good to do robots, because if we go with the same thing, we might want to, at least for ourselves, maybe fine tune it. But we can talk about that off stream and off camera. But yeah, excuse me. But that's what it's going to be like, guys. Just look at our Twitter, Pointless Disco. That is the Twitter handle.
It will also be linked in the description.
Yes, in the description below. Yeah, and do that. And one other thing is that we ask as well, where I just remembered, we forgot to say this in the beginning. Guys, we might actually gotten the iTunes thing figured out. So.
Oh yeah, you did mention on Twitter that, like, we're working on it. It's in the works.
But it was like at 12 o'clock at night. So, or 1 or 2. But yeah, we think we figured out what the issue was. And so the podcast should be showing up on iTunes feeds. And then potentially we might be able to have reviews, and then we can read them out. But if you guys enjoyed this, and this is your first episode, like, definitely I think I don't know if you have a command for the podcast. If not, there's the link, you can copy it. Yeah, you can follow that link. You can find our whole backlog in any platform that you listen. You could pretty much put it on.
I need to update mine, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Or, like, as every podcast should have, if you have your own and it's not on there, there's the RSS feed that you can just copy and paste right into your podcast catcher of choice, which is really simple to do. But we do ask, we do have some hopes and dreams and stuff we would like to see and do with this. So if you guys like this, find value with it, share with a friend, do that. If you, like, post it on Twitter, just at us, like, Pointless Disco on Twitter. Just add us on there, and we've done it. So we'll read your comment out on the next podcast that we catch it on. So as long as it's appropriate and TOS friendly. So but yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add in is if you listen to this in the audio format and you'd like to participate with us live, you can do so. Like we said, in Twitter, we have polls, and this coming month we'll have a special poll, so make sure to participate in that if you can. And also, we do stream this live on Saturdays on Twitch. You could find either of our channels in the description below, and we also set up a multi-stream so that you don't have to worry about being in both chats at once. They'll both be displayed to you so you can participate with a live audience with us. Usually if we have quizzes and we don't get off on too many tangents, then you can do those with us live and we can all share results together.
You know what, though? I would like to ask, though. Do you guys like... What do you guys like? Do you like the... Because we don't mind. We'll do either. But it's just, like, if you guys enjoy the tangents, like, we won't sweat as much to get to the quizzes. Mm-hmm. But... yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. I just realized I should probably make a command for the Twitters of the podcast to show on stream.
Fair enough. Yeah. I probably should too. But
yeah, that's the best place to get any of the day-to-day information about the podcast. So, yeah. Anything else?
No, I think we can close it out here. I think we've
Hey.
talked a lot about robots and beyond.
There's always more to talk about robots. How long do you think this episode is?
My recording says almost 2 hours on the dot.
Oh, wow.
That's
I'm
why
gonna
I
ruin
kind of
that.
was like, announcement time.
Yeah. But guys, now you unlock the special robot thing. Bye!